In the last episode of Isla Napali, we managed to bring in all the TMT items back into action because many of them have been deleted for some awkward reasons, but now they are back in, so you can see already for example, the little arcade here is already in place again, but also we made a little briefing room according to your feedback for the go-kart tracks, but yeah, that's about it. And now enjoy this 40th episode of Isla Napali. Alright, so here we are in the 40th episode, and I thought, okay, I'll do something, you know, new for this episode. There will be still a little bit of work on the go-kart track, but most of all, there is something very new about this area. I was thinking about quite a bit, and for those of you who are following me on Twitter and Twitch, they might already know what I'm talking about. At least I talked about this quite a bit in the stream last week. So what you can see over here, it looks still a little bit awkward, but we do have to get a connection done to the hotel area soon. I'm really willing to fulfill the the hotel area quite soon, because I really think that this is something that we need to manage before we go into the old part of the island, so that I really want to have this left-hand part of the island done before we then go into, and I think it's because you guys decided that this might be the best thing to do, we are going to make the first of all, before we go into the old area, we are going to make the big cargo harbor and the area where the people are living, like actually the staff members have to live somewhere, so we are making the housing of them, and also the cargo area where all the big deliveries is coming from, so also the maintenance area, we have to make the energy supply, some stuff like that. So this will be, I think, about 10 episodes it will take until episode number 50, and I think 50 would be a great number to go into the old part then. So it took 50 episodes, so if it's in the end 100 episodes to make this park entirely ready, that would be awesome. That would be, for my OCD, that would be kind of incredible, to be honest, but hey, I don't know yet, and I am not willing to talk about ending this project anywhere soon, because I'm still way too much enjoying it, and therefore, here's a little announcement. I am going to make another recording today, because I really was thinking about you guys. You know, there was this little poll I put in a week ago and asking you about what you want to see more on my channel. So also, obviously, as you have seen, or maybe not, because the views are kind of bad, but you know, it's about whatever. You know, people have to get into it first. But as you might have seen, there is City Skylines. The series launched yesterday. If you haven't seen that and you're somewhat interested in either City Skylines or in my stuff I do in general, or in the new area for the Phantasialand in Germany, which is called Ruckberg, you might be interested into, about cities, because I'm going to build a somewhat Ruckberg inspired city in City Skylines. This is also why it's called Rook Town. Yeah, well, surprising. Anyways, it is also really kind of laid out as a community project, so I'm really hoping that you will give me some good feedback on it, and I got already quite good first comments that really help me doing this. And yeah, if you're somewhat interested in this, that would be awesome. But now back to Isla Napali. You guys voted obviously for the most favorite item in this poll was to make more Isla Napali episodes. So my time schedule at the moment, as you know, I'm moving, well, not moving yet, but we are still on the verge of moving into our new home. It's we're making good progress. I'll give you an update soon of how the room's looking and stuff like that, and also my 3D progress on this. So yeah, quite a bit is going on, but there is not too much time to make more time-lapse videos. It's simply not doable. I have to be honest to myself. I'm pretty proud about the fact that I have been managing to, I've managed to push out 2 episodes of Isla Napali, Friday and Sunday, basically for the entire series. I think I just needed to stop once on a Sunday because I just didn't get it done, but that's about it. I always manage to put that out, besides all the other crap I have to do, which I'm really proud of, but there's simply no way in doing another time-lapse and to guarantee this. But there is something else I can guarantee, and this is, since I have the Monday Twitch stream, I always thought it would be cool to have kind of a reminder on YouTube just before the stream launches. And so here's my little thing. I'll be doing a video each Monday on Isla Napali where we are doing something, and it is so trivial and it's so obvious, but I've never done this at all in my Planet Coaster parks. We are going to make guest flow management. So what is that? What is guest flow management? Well, I'm going to open the park and I'm going to, you know, get in as many people as possible. I would say, no, I wouldn't say, I would say let's keep it to 2000 or something, so at least that the video has a decent frame rate at this point. For a very important reason. I called this park Hyper-Realistic Park for a reason. I wanted to make it hyper-realistic, with so many various aspects to it. But there is also one really important aspect about being a hyper-realistic park, makes also sure that the guest flow is really well managed. And this park is pretty intricate in terms of path layout and how people interact with certain areas and stuff. And all of the times I had already people in the park, there were a few bits and pieces that were really bad, actually. So really bad. They really didn't work. And here's my thing. I would just do a 20-minute episode or whatever, opening the park and see how people come into the park and use the area. Are they going to stuck into some scenery objects? Do they cross them? Do they get stuck in a too narrow pathway? Do they enter every shop? Which shops are more frequented? And what is our stuff? You know, what are our staff people doing? Are they kind of, you know, doing the right job? And are the staff rooms located in the right area? Do we have enough toilets? Obviously, Germans love to put toilets everywhere. So, do we have enough toilets? Do people really use the hotel? Well, as soon as we do have a hotel, obviously. Do they use all the flat rides? Which is favorite and which not? Where do we have to improve path management? All these kind of stuff I would never do in my time-lapse videos. So I'm really willing to do this in here. Also, for those of you who noticed, I also fulfilled one of your many requests lately. You were kind of bored by the music, and I could somehow, you know, understand this. For me, this is very easy to keep the playlist always the same. I've got a Premiere template where all the music is in, and I only need to put my stuff over it, and that's it. It's always perfectly already fit in. The leveling of the sound is already pretty much alright. So it is a little bit of work to do to put another playlist in, and I didn't entirely put a new in, but I varied a little bit more new songs into it. So I hope you enjoy that. At least the music is a little bit different now, and I also thought it would be fitting to this little cute flat ride we are building over here. This whirly rig, I think it does fit in here kind of well. I was really thinking about what do we put in this little area in between the information kiosk and the little rice farm. We've talked about that, but many people came up with this idea. Many people suggested that in the comments, that we might have something in the park for the local food supply. And as this island is kind of small, also in terms of, you know, there is not that much space to have really another farm. But I thought, okay, we could have at least a small rice farm, or at least a little bit of a small food supply by having a chicken farm, for example. Because there is this lovely animated chicken I have already put everywhere in this park in the last episode, since on Kauai you will see chickens everywhere. They just, or roasters I should say, but you know, they are like on the whole island. No matter where you go, there will be chicken. And this is also why you will get a lot of chicken to eat, but also they're just roaming around free as like cute emeralds, but they're not that cute and not making a lot of shit anyways, literally. However, I was about to make this rice farm really located over here, since I feel this is a perfect kind of sideline to the whole park, and I'll put some screenshots in the end of this episode, and you will see that this is really fitting super well in here. I really love the way it worked out, although I have to say, well, the frame rate kind of worries me a bit, since I needed to copy over these little flowers like a million times, and it seems that the game really has its problems with always the same piece. The frame rate is still okay in the park, but it's we just hit a point where the frame rate got a little bit at least questionable. So in having no guests in the park and keeping the park running, I'm still about 30 FPS, which is okay, depending on what view you are in. So looking close to the park, it's totally fine. But going a little bit more into detail, going a little bit more into, not into detail, a little bit further out of the park, or having a POV, it drastically drops also, not below 20, but around 20 FPS. However, I think it's still okay, but yeah, all these same pieces copied around, it just really hits this game kind of hard, I guess. Anyhow, this is not what I want to talk about all the time. We're gonna get fixed, or we're gonna get rid of this problem, hopefully as soon as I have the new graphics card somewhere in summer. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm going to try to make a little bit of a, it's not really a pathway, but I was looking at some pictures of some rice farms. Usually they don't really have anything in between. They do seem to have only a little bit of a mud path in between of the different or various rice fields. However, I wanted to have something in here, and I found, not on Hawaii, but in kind of Chinese rice farms, I at least found some, actually ladders, that it seemed to be ladders that they put over the mud to have at least a little bit of a more stable path here. And so I thought, okay, this is like, this area over here is more like a touristic area, which also needs to look a little bit better, although I'm putting some fences here and there to make sure that people can't really look too much into it. Also putting some plants and stuff behind these walls to make sure that they not really have too much of a glimpse into this area, since this really should be something that you can use as a staff member, or as a hotel, or as a restaurant, because this is like your supply area, and you know, the guests of the park shouldn't be able to go in or like see too much of it. Also wanted to fit some cargo in here. I'm not sure if I should leave it, so maybe you need to give me some feedback on that. I'm not really sure about this. I was just feeling, okay, this might be a little bit of some rice kind of stored over here already, then can be in the evenings, could be carried away. I don't know, I just put it down here, but I'm not entirely sure if I want to keep it there or not. Anyhow, again, talking about comments and feedback, just a little reminder, I already got so many crazy, lovely, nice comments about what you want to see on the Isla Napali billboard. So let me still remind you on the fact that you are in a raffle. Actually, if you're putting down a lovely comment, what you like about Isla Napali the most, or kind of a quote about this park, and you are in a raffle, so to say, to become one of 4 billboard owners in this park. I'm going to put alongside the go-kart track to really, you know, separate it a little bit more from the park and than it is right now, and you'll be able to, you know, see your name on it, because each single one of you 4 will then be featured in this park, not only with this billboard and with your own kind of quote or comment or whatever, but also with your name or nickname, however you want to have it, you know, named on it. So this is, I think it's a really cool way to bring you even more into this project, since you are a big help. And yeah, as I talked about this area the whole time as it would be settled, as always, obviously your feedback is very welcome. So if you have further all detail leveled what am I even talking about? If you have any further detailed information about rice farms that you want to share with me to improve this rice farm, please let me know, because I have not too much of a great idea about what a good rice farm should look like. I think even these rice fields may be a little bit too small anyways, but anyhow, it's just an attempt on making a little rice field. I think it's not even that efficient, but that's also not the point about this rice field. It shouldn't be that efficient. It should be, you know, just to make sure that this is like a little bit of local food to create an awareness for local food, and that's about it. Maybe we're gonna have some more rice farms in the back of the park, but yeah, as I said, you know, copying over all these plants is not too good for the game. So I only wanted to have some smaller ones, but I feel like it really suits this area super well. It looks super awesome, and yeah, it just makes totally sense to have something like that there. And I didn't want to squeeze in a bigger flat ride or whatever in this area, because as I said at the beginning of Isla Napali, this project is all about working well together with the nature that this island offers us, and to make even more rides and theme park-ish stuff in this area, I would have, needed to delete this mountain more than anything else, and I just didn't want to do that because I felt like this is not the right way to do it, and this is not what I really want to do, because I just want to make sure that this park looks beautiful in the end and works together with the environment. However, I just created a little bit of a viewing platform over here, which we are not going to theme right now. Oops, I hit my microphone. Okay, I mean, whatever. It's a Rudi episode. You will need that. But yeah, the last thing we are going to do in this episode is something I've promised, and I finally did. We are going to change these water barrels, and I modeled one myself. You will be able to get this from the workshop soon, maybe even already when this episode is out. I don't know if I have time to jump into the game and publish it yet, but I made a few versions of it until I found a good one, and the one I have now is super awesome. It's super small, it just has about 300 vertices or something, but it looks awesome. I think it might be my cleanest model yet. As you can see, here we go, this is it. It's full flexi color. It only has a bump map, a metal map, and a base color, but it has like 4 flexi color maps, and that's about it. So nothing major. They're all only 1K, so no bigger texture on it, but it is looking awesome actually, and it improved what I was guessing and hoping. It really improved the performance again, which is awesome to say. I didn't know that, but it just worked out. The performance is just way better now, since we deleted about 4,500 pieces and we exchanged them with effectively 100. So that's just how good it is. Like, we definitely made a huge impact on the performance of the go-kart area, which I think is awesome. And we are also able now to bring in what you guys have come up with as well in the comments, and you see, I try to really follow your comments. This will be the watchtower. However, I have to say the go-kart track is not optimal to put a watchtower, since I think this is the only location I could found where you can see at least like 80% of the track. You still have the problem that you will need some security cameras that have a display function to a control room, which might be in this little shed on the right hand side of this watchtower, or I'm even putting some, I don't know, I haven't put them in, but maybe we put some monitors on top of this little thing over here. I made a little custom staircase to go up. I am not sure if this would actually work, so maybe I have to change it a little bit. But I moved the overall thing later on a tiny bit so that it makes more sense and people would be able to go here. However, as always in the game, these kind of custom staircases do not work, so obviously this is only for cosmetic reasons. Before you ask, but yeah, I think it's still looking awesome. I wanted to bring in a little bit more of Hawaiian style, since I feel like the go-kart track looks a little bit too flat and a little bit too go-karty. I still wanted to make sure that we have a little bit of a Hawaiian influence here, and I think I kind of succeeded. By the way, props to this wonderful piece. It's a 2-meter beam, which you usually use for the security nets or whatever, but you can super awesomely use them also to make these kind of pergolas or yeah, just little wooden structures to make sure that this all looks nice. Here are, by the way, the security cameras I was just talking about. They are positioned like on all sides of this watchtower, but I'm also going to place them somewhere else in the park. I just like this camera a lot more than the in-game security camera, which is just this weird bubble thing. So yeah, that's why I'm using this custom one. And yeah, I wasn't still able to figure out if this limit, as what I talked about in the last episode, the TMT item limit is really existing. So if some of you has already found this info, it would be awesome if you could leave this in the comments down below, because I totally don't know if it's true or not. However, that's the end of this episode. Here we go with the screenshots now, and I hope you enjoyed this episode with the little rice farm and our watchtower. I would love if you guys could jump over to the City Skylines video of yesterday and give me some feedback about that. And yeah, we're gonna see each other in tomorrow's episode. Until then, bye bye. We should be hiding out wherever we may find love that's flown.